G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. Blacko here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Today I want to talk about the problem that seems to be increasing, particularly in Brisbane and in Melbourne. And that's the immigrant gang violence issue that we're having. Now, about 14 years ago I was living in Sunshine in Melbourne. And let me tell you, I saw this coming all the way back then. What you had at that point, I'd go down to the shopping centre in the middle of the day there, and there would be 300 to 400 kids between ages of say 13 and 18, not in school, not employed, just hanging around. Most of them weren't causing any trouble at this point. This was before there'd been any eruptions, though that would happen in the months shortly thereafter. Now, just from that, I could see that there was going to be an issue. You know, it's just an idle hands issue. And then we had compounding problems. You know, these kids were poor and bored, and of course some of them formed gangs. And these are people from places like Sudan, Nigeria, war-torn situations. So they have very different levels of normal from your average people. And, you know, a lot of these kids had very much more traditional kind of Christian upbringings than we had. And their parents are disciplinarian and very Old Testament, really. And so what you would see would happen was the parents would try to discipline these kids, but the kids figured out how to game the system and would get docs.
Hi, Dad.
To interfere and take that disciplinary action out of the situation, and things just exacerbated from there. Now, I don't think this is a race issue at all. I think this is a cultural issue. Although, you know, obviously most people respond to a difference of appearance in ridiculously primitive ways, shall we say. And so there was friction there. And I could see that it was going to cause a problem. Now, I think one of the problems is, firstly, I don't blame them, I blame the government. We have exacerbated the situation in their home countries through imperialism and conquest and these endless wars. And so I see them just like the people that are now copying the violence as a result of this mess. Everyone's a victim here. And these are children, you know. A lot of these people carrying out these violent attacks are under the age of 18. But essentially what's happened is our government has pitted them against us, or us against them.
Hey,
And it's
Dad.
crypto tyranny. It's crypto tyranny. Right? And assimilation would have fixed this. If we just billeted them out into various communities, they would have assimilated. Like, I was friends with some of these guys who had assimilated from an earlier batch. I worked with a bunch of Nigerian guys while I was living there. And they were cool as fuck. You know, if I would have stayed in touch with them, but I lost all my contact details from them all in the years in between. But I still think very fondly of my friend Donald Aduro, who was studying pathology and working with me in a demolition company to pay his way through school. This is not a race issue, this is a cultural one, but it's also a created one. And like I said, it's crypto tyranny. The idea is for us to suffer so that we will allow government more power to deal with this. And like I said, assimilation would have been the solution, but they didn't want a solution, they wanted this problem because they have a different solution in mind, and that's the police state. So I suggest, particularly if you're in one of these areas, that you guys form a group and approach them as a group and make some kind of treaty, you know, and say, hey, look, like, control your own, or we're going to have to do something about this, because clearly the police aren't going to help because they just follow orders, and the orders aren't going to be to keep the peace because they want the tyranny. They want you to beg for tyranny. They want you to say, hey, govern me harder, daddy, right? So, don't fall for it. We're all here in a bad situation. That's what this country is. Okay? It's a bad situation.
This one.
Yeah, this one. You know, since 1788, we've been a dumping ground and a conflict zone.
This one.
And it's all the Crown's fault. And it's up to all of us who are the victims here to band together and say, hey, we don't have to let them set each other at each other's throats. We can get through this. We can make peace. We can make trades. We can integrate, or we can go our own ways peaceably. But we need to talk about it, and we need to cut the Crown out of the situation, because they're not going to be any help. You know, they're robbing you to pay them so that you'll be mad. And then they're probably treating them pretty badly, even though they're getting all the benefits as well. They're probably giving them a rough time, making them jump through hoops, making them feel uncomfortable to keep them agitated, so they do this kind of dumb shit. And it's gotten past dumb shit, to be honest. Like, you know, we've got murders now, quite brutal ones. They've disarmed us. So we can't even threaten that there's no... Members of the public pose no threat. We're just lambs to the slaughter in this situation. So that's why I'm for rearmament. But I don't want to see racial-based gun violence in this country. That would be a fucking nightmare. So it's up to us to make some kind of treaty, some kind of outreach, to back these kids' parents, to discipline their kids the way they need to, based on their culture and their backgrounds. And let's not forget, a lot of these kids are like former child soldiers from Sudan, from northern Nigeria, where Boko Haram are operating, and other fucked up places like that, you know? And so in a way, they're just kind of going to what they know. And it sucks, but it's going to take a big effort for us to just try as best we can. Obviously, the people who committed these violent acts, those individuals need to be punished to the fullest extent of the law, but to prevent this from happening in future, we need to make some kind of treaty. Anyway. Sorry for all the comedy that's accidentally attending this otherwise serious topic. But I'm going to have to go now. So remember, peace, love, and kung fu. Black Eye out. Talk to you soon.